Was poppin', was poppin'. Welcome back to another episode of Life According to Rick. I hope everybody's had an amazing week thus far. Now, this is going to be a conversation that's needed to be had. My guest today is a very special guest to me, and I know y'all probably sick of me saying that because, of course, everybody that I have as a guest is special to me and very dear to me. And this person that I'm gonna have come on right now is literally my day one because she's known me since infancy. So without further ado, I'm gonna introduce to you my cousin Alexandra. Prima, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, cuz it's an honor to be on your podcast. Um, love your episodes, love your content. And yes, we go way back. I've seen the before and after, and it's just been amazing. It's been amazing.
That's what's up. I'm glad to have you here. I know that we talked about it for a little bit, and I was like, you know what? Let's make it happen because I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like it's dope to just have those conversations with your loved ones, you know what I'm saying, and kind of get retrospect, from other people's point of view and stuff like that. But why don't you to those listening, let them know a little bit about yourself and who Alexandra is.
Well, Alexandra is obviously your cousin of many years. We shared many experiences. Dominican, migrated here when I was what, like 6 months, to the Bronx. After that, moved to Massachusetts. That's when I met you, and you were a baby. You were a little thing. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it.
I know.
Kind of grew up, yeah, mostly grew up in Massachusetts. We did.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
bounced in adulthood, came back to the city, went back, had my kids there in Massachusetts. So a lot of history there.
yeah. We done a lot of bouncing back and forth, I think.
Yeah, yeah. But it's been
Yeah,
good. We made roots here. Our families did.
yeah,
That's
no,
why,
yeah,
yeah, that's why it's special to us. This is where we migrated. This is where we came. So
for
it's
sure,
important.
for sure. So let's go back a little bit. So like, what do you remember the most? Because I mean, listen, you seen it for you seen it in real time. Like you seen Rick being a baby and so
Hmm.
you probably got more stories than I could even remember because you don't really remember much as a baby, but I'm
Yeah.
sure you was there real time.
Yeah. I mean, oh my God, it was interesting. I see a lot of Harlem. I see a lot of you in Harlem. It's special to watch it. His mannerisms, even the way he speaks. You, oh my God, you were so cute. You were so spoiled because there were no babies. You were the only baby, the youngest one at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like everybody got their fix, and but I remember you you were grouchy. You were grouchy as a little one, but I think it's because you were so spoiled, because everybody just loved you. And it was actually pretty special to watch, how the family, I would be honest for me to say that you being born even brought the family more together. It was special. It was like I said, the only baby. Everybody wanted their fix because everybody had had their children and they were older or at least, you know, in elementary school by then, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was just interesting. It was interesting to see relationships kept together. And you underestimate how important the presence of children is in families. But
Right.
they tend to be a glue.
And it's crazy you say that because I feel like even like in my adulthood, like even like when I go to Miami and I go see the family down there, I feel like I bring everybody together. Like it's just been something that
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't happen intentionally, but it just happens. Like, oh shit, like Rick's here, like vamos juntando todito, let's all get together
Yeah,
and it's like we didn't skip a beat, you know what I'm saying? So like
yeah,
I feel like and it feels good, like to be together with my loved ones and my family. Like it's always been important for me. Like, porque mami was always like that. Like she was
yeah.
like
Always.
she planted that seed in me. So like I feel like for me, family has always been important.
Yeah. You've always moved that way. And I think your presence too represents a lot of her. And she was so important to all of
Hmm.
us. So I think when they see you, it's like a remembrance of her because you were her everything.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it too, especially for her children that are still alive. It's remembering those times. And like you said, she was always about unity, family unity.
Hmm.
She was always hosting parties and dinners and getting everybody together. So you definitely carry that vein that she had.
Yeah, for sure.
Special.
I never really thought about it that way, but now that hearing you say that, like it makes sense because her raising me, like I like there's a lot of her that I probably carry now and don't realize it, but you pointing it out, like it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, just hearing your name, for me personally, hearing your name or hearing family talk about you or just remembering you, it's like I automatically remember her. I remember those times when we were little and we spent a lot of time together. Because my mother and her were close to obviously my dad being her brother. But it's good feelings and how fortunate, we are that to have such good memories because they're great memories.
Hmm.
Great memories, fun, growing up watching your family together, enjoying each other. You know, it's like I can't say it's necessarily like that now. Obviously, times have changed, but it's great memories. I think it definitely shaped us in a way to be who we are now.
No, of
And I think
course,
that is why you're so family orientated. It's definitely because of that.
100%. And I
Because
feel
you grew
like
up with her. So you were
right.
there. You were there the whole while she was doing this, you were there the whole time.
Hmm. Yo, I never wanted to leave that lady's side. Like I remember, like I spoke about it like earlier in one of my episodes, like early on, and like even when my mom would come pick me up, like I would tell mommy, I'm like, yo, tell her I'm sleeping, and she would be like screaming out the window, pick him up in the morning, he's sleeping.
I remember I remember being there and Anna coming in from work to pick you up. And she'd go and come back a couple times. And eventually Tia would be like, "Ay, déjalo aquí, mija. Just come get him tomorrow." I remember.
Yeah, I used to, yo, I loved being there with her. Like, it was, I don't know, like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just one of those things, like, ese cariño and that love, like that. She was so nurturing, like,
She
just
was.
with the family, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just like her presence, like she was Big Mama, like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like how people say, "Oh, Big Mama," like that's who she was in the family. She was Big Mama, and like everybody just wanted to be there, like and hang out and just chill when she would cook. Yo, and I remember when she would do like the bicocho, the Dominican cake.
Oh
Yo,
my God, yes. Oh, I remember. And she cooked till her very last day. Delicious. She was such a great cook. And you can feel the love in her food.
for sure.
That was another thing. And I remember being little where most kids just want to go to the park or go somewhere where it's fun. I wanted to go to Tia Francia's house. I loved being there. And like you said, she wasn't your typical like Dominican mom, grandmother. She was very nurturing. Not that Dominican grandmothers aren't, but she didn't come with, you know, like the violence and the discipline. She was different.
She was very much, she wasn't rough around the edges.
Right.
And I think it had to do with her upbringing. And she was very understanding and she was very compassionate and she knew, she was very smart. And even though she really didn't really have much of an education, but I feel like life taught her early on. So like she kind of understood how to handle certain situations. So like, and she would always tell me, like, even when, when I finally had moved out here, that I got the kids, and I remember I would have conversations with her, and she was like, "Ay, mijo, tú tienes que tener paciencia." Like, but because she knew what she was talking about.
She knew what she was talking about. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was one of
Yeah.
those things where, like, she, even as an adult, she was still teaching me.
Yeah. And you know what? She was like, I remember she was very inviting. She had a lot of friends. And I remember being little and I didn't understand then, but fast forward, hit and rewind, like you kind of understand things. And she was there for a lot of people. She was there for a lot of people. They would go and talk to her and they'd catch up and tell them about where they're at with this problem or this situation. And she would listen and she would give them advice while cooking for them. So they would leave fed, physically, but emotionally also. I just think it's incredible. And knowing her history too, because she comes from a hard life, Dominican Republic. She widowed with all those children and they were all little and her husband suddenly died and she ended up having to split her kids up amongst the family and migrate here.
Hmm.
And then eventually got all her children here. Matter of fact, the first time my dad migrated to the US was to her house. She was like, "Yeah, come. I got you." She was like that. She was like that. I remember, oh my God, my pregnancies and my cravings. Because she did the cakes. Ella hacía lo tres leche. And it was like She read my mind. She would call me out of nowhere. Ay, te hice un tres leche. And I would go and stuff my face and bring the rest home and keep stuff. She was just like that.
No, you know what's crazy? Going back to what you were saying about like people coming and her giving advice, like she was very much like a problem solver.
Oh, yeah. Matchmaker. She was a
Yo,
matchmaker too. Good matchmaker.
like
Yeah.
she was very knowledgeable and she was full of wisdom and like
Mm-hmm.
it's so crazy because when I think about it, it's it was all of her life lessons, like all the stuff that she had been through. And it's crazy because I remember when my grandfather passed away. And mind you, when my grandfather passed away, I think he was like roughly around my age. He was like in his early 40s.
Yeah, he was young. Yeah.
He was very young and he had passed away from a heart attack. And I remember that she was pregnant with Titi Francina.
Yeah.
So, you know, like it's unfortunate how things played out in that aspect, but like she made it happen.
Yeah.
Like she made it happen. Like through all the hardships, like raising six. Well, at that time she had six kids,
Mm-hmm.
and then later on she met Abuelo Chino, and then they had Tio Stevie. But
Yep.
like, can you imagine being a widow with six kids in this day and age? Like,
In the
ridiculous.
Dominican Republic.
Yo, crazy.
Crazy, crazy. And it also, the way the family stepped up to support her and having to migrate here in order to establish herself here to continue sustaining her family, her children, because now she's a single parent. And you know what makes Thea a badass? She didn't do what other women would have done, which is remarry in exchange for the support to raise these children. She was like, nah, I got this. I'll do it. And that's exactly what she did. She was such a warrior in her own way. Amazing. And she did exactly that. She came here. I believe she started working in the garment district. She
Mm-hmm.
worked with what she had. She was an incredible seamstress
Mm-hmm.
and she started working there. And I don't know how, but eventually she brought all of her kids here.
It's funny you say she was a warrior because I recall like when I talked to Tia Silverina,
Oh, yeah. Another warrior. Mm-hmm.
her famous line, she's like, ¿Qué tú te crees? Nosotros somos guerreros.
Sí. Yep. Yep. It's true. It's true. Nosotros somos guerreros.
She's so funny, yo, till this day. Like, she cracks me up, yo. She's another one, like she's still kicking and her mind is so sharp. Like, I love my Tia Silverina, yo. Like, I I'm definitely making it a point to go see her when I go down now in August to Miami because the last time that I went, it was so quick that I didn't even get a chance to go see her. But I'm definitely gonna make it a point.
Yeah. And, it's funny because I feel that on that side of the family, the feminine presence is so strong. Mostly women. It was just Tio Baltasar and my dad, tu
Mm-hmm.
tío. And then the rest were all women.
Mm-hmm.
And very strong women. Women that did incredible things for the times.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very much feminine, domesticated, but they were very masculine in their strength. It's weird.
No,
Like
yeah,
that's how
they
Thea was.
yeah, she was very resilient is the word that I would like to
Correct.
describe her as because She wouldn't give up, and she always would find a solution.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like whether
yeah,
she didn't get it at the moment, but eventually she'll come up with a solution to that problem.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So like in that sense, I feel like she was very resilient. She was always a go-getter. Like I remember being little and she had that big ass sewing machine.
Yeah,
She had that
yeah,
big that yo, and she was always
yeah.
cosiendo something like,
Siempre.
and yeah, and she would, and listen, it's so crazy because I even have memories like going with her to like Joanne Fabrics, like me, mass small, like
Yeah.
we would take a cab, and she would go buy like the cloth or whatever, like the, and she would buy the designs, and I would just see her like with her sewing machine, and like she was just very like a Jane of all trades.
She
Like
was.
she dabbled and dabbled in everything, and you know what I'm saying, like being an immigrant from Dominican Republic and not having an education, but still being able to have a variety of tools under your belt, like is crazy.
Yeah. I remember spending time there because, we grew up together. We were there. We lived in Haverhill, which is what, 15, 20 minutes away, but we were there a good 4 days out of the week,
Mm-hmm.
like all day. And I remember she would, sometimes we'd walk in and she was sewing, and she would take clients while entertaining us and cooking. And she just did, and she made it look like smooth. She was flawless with it. Multitasker, hardworking, but did it with a smile, and it was genuine.
Right. And it's crazy because like she somehow managed to balance everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because even like when I think about it, like raising me, like, I would come home from school, you know what I'm saying? And she would like obviously prepare like something to eat. Tú tienes hambre, mijo, ven a comer, ven. And she would like fix me like a snack, and look at la cena se hacía or whatever. Like she would cook dinner, but she was always on point, yo. Like she was always on top of things. Like and I don't want to say like she couldn't sit still, but it she if like she felt good doing that.
Yeah, it made her happy.
Right.
She loved hosting dinner parties specifically. She loved it. She loved it. She loved talking and watching people dance and talk and converse. Like she was really about that, about unity. She thrived off of it. She loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And when she moved to Florida, we felt it here. Everything changed. It
Yeah.
shifted. It shifted, and whoever didn't move there, um, in a weird way, didn't continue to enjoy that unity. It changed when she moved. You
Yeah.
felt the change. And I realized that when I got older, because you think about things and family, and it's like, some drift apart. And when did we stop doing the house parties on the weekends? When did that stop? You know how we grew up falling asleep in chairs and beds, buried under coats, you know.
Yo, it's so crazy.
That's how we grew up.
Listen, it's so crazy you saying that right now because I had mentioned that in one of my episodes. I was like, yo, like I remember growing up, we always had that one cousin that would fall asleep on top of the bed with the room with all
Yeah,
the coats.
yeah. And you didn't want to move them. so he wouldn't wake up
Yeah, you be
or
like, yo,
whatever.
tíralo ahí que se queda dormido.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that changed when she moved. It changed. I remember she had moved to Florida and then I was still in Massachusetts and she had moved back and I was like happy, you know? I was
Hmm.
happy because
Yeah.
even whatever family was left here, she gathered us. She brought us together.
Hmm.
And there's a sense of responsibility in that. Like it keeps you in check where not that we really had those issues, but if you felt some type of way or whatever, you needed to figure that out before dinner at her house on Saturday because you were going to see them.
Hmm.
It's like she even did that, you know, but it was definitely a change. And I remember one of the last dinners that I went to in her house, by this point, she wasn't walking as much. She couldn't stand up as much. And like her kitchen was her kitchen. Don't come in, don't mess around. And it's part of her catering nature. She's gonna cook for you. You're gonna
Hmm.
sit down, you're gonna eat. It's the whole thing, right? And I remember her standing over the counter, leaning on it, like with her elbows, like cooking, you know? And I think about that. And it's like literally till she couldn't stand up anymore. She did this.
Yeah.
That was her love language.
No, for sure. For sure. It's so crazy because like even up to like her last like I want to say last year because when she passed away it was like right around the pandemic, so that
Yeah.
was like that was like you know how that went.
Yep.
Um but I knew that that time was coming, so the year prior to everything shutting down, like I had made it a point. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Miami and I'm gonna spend a couple days with her. Like it was like the best like couple days, and like it was like my goodbye in a sense because even after that visit, like I would always call her and check with her, but like my physical goodbye to her and like just being there with her was like the best thing in the world.
Wow. Wow. And I think I know for me when she passed, the immediate thought was Ricky. And that was everyone for the most part. Before thinking of her children, who she was very close with. But that was the first thought, like, oh my God, Ricky. Because your bond, the two of you were so strong and palpable that knowing she was gone, that was an immediate thought. Like I remember the family calling each other. And it was like, well, have who's talked to Ricky? Has anyone talked to Ricky? Like it was like an unspoken understanding of that bond. Crazy.
Super crazy. I remember that phone call.
Mm.
Like it was yesterday. Like and it's so crazy because when I got the phone call it didn't hit me. And it wasn't until I spoke with Titi Malta
Mm.
and Titi Malta broke down on the phone and I lost it.
Oh my gosh.
I lost it. Like that shit was crazy.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine because I'm not discounting any love or any parental or guardian love, right? However, like I know as a mother, I love my children. I chose to have them. You know, with Harlem now, you and your other children, you know what time it is, but that's the most special kind of love is someone with no obligation and they still decide to show up and do that. I think it's I think it's pretty special. And I even remember, obviously the conversations when your mom would come pick you up. And then as I got older, like I heard like the stories of conversations. And pretty much Dia was just like, I know you want to take him. And I know that it's the right thing for you to do because you're his mother. But he's genuinely happy here. Just leave him here. Just leave him here. I have the time. I'm here all day. I can dedicate myself to him. You have to work. You couldn't say no because she was right. You know, she just understood things differently. And I feel she knew what was best for you at the time. And she made that happen.
Yeah, it's crazy because I remember when she had made the decision that they were going to move to Florida. And I was like, I'm leaving with my grandma.
Yeah.
And I think that's where those conversations came from with my mom because my mom didn't want me to leave. But at the same time, and not to discredit my mom, and her motherhood and stuff like that, because I know deep down genuinely my mom loved me and wanted to be there for me, but looking back now as an adult and having a full understanding of how my mom was, I feel like my mom dealt with a lot of unresolved traumas and hurt that in turn caused her to kind of fail in parenting as far as like her priorities.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel was the ultimate push for me wanting to be full time with my grandmother because obviously she was giving me what my mom wasn't,
Right.
if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like my mom had the right intentions, like being a single mom, working and trying to provide for her kids and whatnot. But you also have to remember my mom was 19 when she had me. So like I know that
So young. Yeah.
a lot of the times, my mom was like, okay, now I can enjoy life. She was going out and there was a lot of times where like she would drop me off at babysitters and stuff like that. And so I know that as an adult, looking back, I know that she was just trying to live life a little bit.
Right.
But with my grandmother, it was like, all right, I'm I'm gonna get this 100% compared to like 50%. You know what I mean? So, and I just felt good being there with her.
Yeah.
So like I never wanted to leave her side.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's obviously because of what we said, her nurturing ways and things like that. I think she understood you, and that plays a big part, especially in our culture. Parents, and I think most parents like you just described your mom, just so busy trying to provide you know, and Thea had a different outlook. She was older, also more experienced, so that played a part.
Right.
Um, I think it was also a way of life giving her the opportunity to like have this little person and raise them and love them uninterrupted by life and things that happen, you know, because I know it was hard for her to have to part with her kids
Right.
when her husband died. She had no other choice. It's still happening till today. Women do it every day,
Mm-hmm.
in order to provide a better life for their kids. But I feel in a way that that was her kind of getting that part of her life back too. Because again, being a widow, she was in her, I think she was in her, I think early 30s, something like that. I don't know. She was young. She was young with all those babies and no
Yeah.
resources, because she would stay at home mom. He was the breadwinner. That was what, the 60s, 50s, 60s, something like that.
Yeah, like I want to say the 50s because my dad was born in 54. So, like,
Yeah,
I want to say, yeah, because when my dad was 3 when my
right.
grandfather passed away. So, if we're doing the math correctly, that was like
Hmm.
57. So, yeah, so like late 50s when he passed away, like mid to late 50s.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's why she also obviously came with all that wisdom and compassion and patience and all of that. I don't know. I think and mind you, she's been there for all of her grandchildren. She was
Mm-hmm.
there for all her grandchildren. She wasn't,
She's sh
yeah.
she was I feel like she was able to even meet some of her great grandkids in Florida.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she did.
Yeah.
Like Titi Francina's grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
She got to meet.
Maribel's kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she got to meet quite a few of her great grandkids, which is dope because I feel like on the Guerrero side, like they all live like almost to 100 years old.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Tia Pura passed and she was in her 90s. Tia Yolanda had turned 90 something. Um, Papi, who's the youngest, just turned 87 in April. Tia Silverina is what? She had her 96th, 97th birthday?
I think 98.
98, yeah.
Yeah, 97, 98. I want to say 98, but I'm not too sure. But yo, you talk to Tia Silverina now, like yo, she's so sharp. Like her mind is like yo on point, and she's so funny too. Like
She's funny. She's funny. I ask her, how you doing? She's like, yo estoy que bailo una bachata, me dice ella. She's
yo, like
funny.
she always got like a witty response. Like she's mad funny. Like I love talking to her.
Yeah. She's another strong one too that
Mm-hmm.
migrated here also. Had to leave her two girls behind, eventually brought them here. So, yeah, long line of strong women. Strong women that were dealt tough cards, but dealt with it. Made it
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why also for Tia Francia, for your mom, I think that's why things didn't really phase her. You never really, she was not really surprised by much or shocked by much. And I interpreted that for most of the time as just like her calm demeanor or like her, just not really being surprised by things. But I think it was that. It's like she had been there and done that. She had lived some tough times. And I think that's why she was able also to console so many people, um, advise them, guide them even.
I think for me, like I think for her, she wasn't afraid of disappointment.
Mm,
Be- because just of everything that she had been through is like, well, shit, like how much more worse can it get? You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Like she had lost her husband, she was a widow with 6 kids, and it's like, all right, how much more worse can it really get? So,
Thursday.
and I feel like migrating into New York from the DR, like just going through everything in a new setting, you know what I'm saying? Like to try to provide for your kids in DR, and in turn trying to get them to come here and stuff like that. Like she really went through it.
Yeah, yeah. And you
And
know what I also remember? She had a beautiful voice. Beautiful voice. Like if she had stayed in DR, honey, she might have gotten a deal or something because she had such a beautiful voice. And I remember hearing her sing. I still listen to those songs till today. Eso bolero de Toña, de que si yo quién, de Blanca Iris Villafañe. And those are songs that I still listen till today. And they remind me, I learned about those artists and that music hearing her sing.
it's so crazy because hearing you say that now is like you opened up like a memory in my head, and like I remember like she would like sing low key like while she was sewing, and like like, and when you're little you don't really pay mind to it, but I can just like hear her like while she was sewing.
Yeah.
It was like her pastime, like
She had a beautiful voice. Like she could sing. Beautiful voice. Beautiful voice. And it's just interesting because, she would sing these songs and then I got older and I understood what they meant. And it's like, okay, Tia was on to something. She knew. She knew what time it is. She knew what was going on.
hmm
And that
she
was just another way. She was just joyful. Joyful. For the most part. I never saw her angry. I'm not saying she never did. I never saw her angry.
Yeah, like I feel like for her to get out of character, like it would have to be like some OD shit, like,
Mm-hmm.
and don't get me wrong, like I've seen her get stern, but not like upset. But when she got down to business, like I was like, oh shit, like I'm not playing with mommy today.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she was very assertive. Very assertive. She spoke firmly. Firmly. Like when like you knew. You know what time it is. But that was the extent. And not that her firmness wasn't even intimidating. It was her choice of words. And plus she spoke the truth. And that in itself, is powerful.
Yeah, like I feel like she never really was one to like sugarcoat things. Like she would tell you how it was, and not that she not that she wouldn't like. take your feelings into consideration, but like she's like you said, she spoke the truth. Like, you know, si no te gusta, like whatever, like
And and she was big on accountability. Like if you came to her with a problem or this or that, she'd be like, "Well, what did you do?" You know, and then she went in. She went in. Well, it's like, well, because you did this. Or how is that not supposed to happen when you did this? She was really good at allowing people and guiding them into accountability without
right. And I
tearing
feel
them down.
no, but she would also put it into perspective so that way people understood like what they had done. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like, like, all right, you're not gonna come to me and be like, like, I'm gonna let you know what's up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She was, yeah. And she was also very involved. She cared a lot. She was very involved in, she knew everything that was going on with everyone and followed up. She was very involved in everybody's lives. She knew everything that was going on with this one and that one, and are they okay? Are they not? That's why her place was the spot. It was the spot.
It's funny, and we joke around a lot because her nickname was La Marquesa.
La Marquesa, claro.
La Marquesa, like
Yeah.
she was like the Dawn. She was like the female Dawn.
Yep.
But when you think about it, like she really held what's the meaning of a matriarch.
Absolutely.
So like, you know what I'm saying? Like just her whole demeanor, how she took care of everybody, like
Mm-hmm.
she that's just who she was. And like, after she passed away, like we felt it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like this is it.
I remember um being pregnant with my third son, and I'm over there, and I bring her the kid so she can do her thing. And I remember telling her, I'm like, I don't know why he keeps throwing up. I don't know. So I fed him, and then I burped him, and then I started like shaking him to go to sleep. And I'll never forget, she looked at me and she goes, "No." That's all she said. She said, "No." And it kind of scared me because she doesn't talk like that. And I was like, "¿Qué fue?" And then she paused and she goes, "Don't shake him. That's why he keeps throwing up." And he never threw up again. Never threw it like it. She just
Yo,
like
let
common sense, right? But
let me
common sense isn't always
let
common.
that's why she was mira, ella era doctora.
See?
Ella cosía. She was a chef. She was a counselor. Like like I'm telling you, like she had a bunch of trades under her belt. Like it's nuts. Like she really was a Jane of all trades. Like she did everything. Like and you're like, how do you know all this stuff? But again, it's like la experiencia, the experience, and she was just very smart.
She was, and she was very good at developing her own unique relationships with everyone. I mean, we all do that for the most part, but she was different about it. Like, I had a relationship with her. It wasn't just like, that's my tia and this is what we do and I'm her niece. No, we had a relationship. And when she moved, I remember when she moved back to Massachusetts, I was so happy because I could go back to how I grew up, seeing her 3, 4 times a week, spending time with her. It was never a boring conversation. She was so experienced. I love to hear her stories. I learned so much. She gave me great advice, but I would just love spending time with her. And when she moved back, it's like we picked up where we left off. And she cared about me. She checked up on me. She would call me, Mija, ¿cómo tú estás? Pasa por aquí. Esto. Or I would call her on my way to work. Tía, ¿qué usted está haciendo? Pasa por aquí, mi. Like, she saw me. She was interested in me. That's how she made me feel. And I think she did that for everyone. That's why
Mm,
everybody gravitated towards her.
yeah. It's crazy. Because she was an open book. Like you would ask her, and she would just tell you. So like, I remember, like, I had asked her, like, "Mama, ¿qué pasó con abuelo?" So like, she like would tell she would tell me the story. Like, I remember, like, we were both sobbing like little kids, like,
Mm-hmm.
because I know that in part, like, it probably like reopened that wound. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and like, and I felt it. Like, I'm like, damn. Like, I know that it must have been hard to kind of re-talk about that. Something that's traumatic, like losing your husband. And
Yeah.
but she didn't mind. And it gave me that, how do I say it? It gave me that, like, that family tree, like that history. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, I never met my grandfather, but like, I would like to know, like where we came from. Like,
Right.
and she was always, that's what I loved about her. Like, she always had a story for something, and it was like I could sit there and just listen to her for hours, like, just talking and telling stories.
Yeah. And the valuable thing is that these were real experiences, things that she lived. So you're getting it from the source,
Right.
and to see that she had survived all that, that's gave you that boost of like, I'm good. I got this. Like, if she could do all that, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. And I'm so grateful because when everything happened with, like, the kid's mom, and me having to come out here from New York, and be a single father, like, I I'm so grateful that I still had her around, that I could easily pick up the phone and talk to her. And like, even like, she walked me through, like, cooking over the phone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, mami, yo tengo que aprender a cocinar, because yo tengo que darle comida a estos muchachos. Like, I gotta feed these kids. Like, ay, mijo, no te preocupes. Tú coge. And she will break it down. But like, it was like a beautiful thing. Like, I'm so glad that I was able to still have her around in that crazy point in my life, because that was such a crazy time for me. And to still have her there, accessible, to
Yeah.
even if she was a phone call away, like, I'm so glad that I was still able to do that.
Yeah. Her absence was definitely noticeable when she wasn't around. Like, you knew something was missing. Someone's missing. You could feel it. And I know that she was there when the kids were little. When you first had when they were little, when you first had them, I know she was there. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that when that happened to you, if she hadn't been that much older, right? Because by this time, she's requiring caretakers and things like that. She wasn't as independent.
Right.
She would have dropped everything and moved to Massachusetts with you. She would have done it. She would have.
No, she would tell me, she's like, ay, mijo, si yo tuviera más jovencita.
See? Yeah, yeah. She would have done it in a heartbeat. In
No,
a
yeah,
heart.
I know for sure, for sure. And I know that she would have dropped everything if she could have. But, time is undefeated, so it was just one of those things that, but I feel like I needed that. Not saying that I wouldn't have wanted her to be able to, what I'm saying, if it was possible, but like I that was something that I had to go through on my own, if
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Rough times, cuz rough times
Mm-hmm.
that you overcame. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Maybe I mean her support would have been incredible. And just having her more in their lives like that when they were a little older too
Yeah.
would have been amazing. But I, you learned a lot from her raising you. And I saw how you applied most of that to your kids, like that determination, the consistency, and just being there, handling, doing what you have to do.
No, for sure. I feel like she's definitely, my upbringing from her was definitely my blueprint,
Mm.
and not to even bring it up, but like my father's absence, it it kind of played a part also as far as like my fatherhood and to wanting to be more present for my kids and stuff like that. So,
Mm.
but yeah, definitely her upbringing was my blueprint because she definitely knew how to do it the right way.
She did, and she kept it really healthy for you. She
Mhm.
had no animosity, none whatsoever. She didn't, never displayed any. She adored your mother, loved her like her daughter.
Mhm.
Always, always. Nunca le reprochó nada. ¿Tú me entiendes? Like she just understood things and accepted them for what they were and gave the best input she could into the situation. That's exactly what she did.
Right.
Like she never spoke negatively to you about your parent or anything like that. She focused more on making sure you were comfortable, you were content. That was that was her focus.
Right. Yeah, she was I think looking back, like it was more like her sheltering me from everything. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it definitely played a part. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, I'm definitely grateful that I had her around and that I was able to grow up with her and you know see those parts of her like she meant the world to me and I still to this day, like I always say, like cuando ella se fue, like a part of me left
Wow. Yeah.
because like she was legit my everything.
Yeah. Yeah. No matter where she went, where you went, always linked up. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
That was
And
that
she
was my
was.
that was
Yeah.
that was that was my old girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And she
It's
did that, and she did that with, it, but that's, you got most of it, obviously. You got all of her. But we all got that from her. Like
hmm
it didn't matter where I lived, what situation I was in, who I was with. Dia knew everything. She always knew where I was at, what I was doing, what am I up to. She was interested like that, you know?
but think back to when she came back to Mass, that she literally helped raise Kiara and Andrew, Theo Stevie's kids.
I remember. I remember. She was in Florida. She moved here for that.
Hmm.
She said, "No, I gotta go. I gotta." And Stevie was more than capable. He's responsible parent.
Hmm.
But she's like that. She continued to like self-sacrifice to make sure like everything's good. I gotta just a
It was
desire to be involved, you know?
it was that nurturing instinct inside of her that it like trigger, like, all right, we gotta go and
Yeah.
and be there for them kids. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's just how she was.
That's how she was. That's how she was till the very end. That's how she was.
Hmm.
Because even when I would speak to her, she would ask me, how so and so, and how so and so. And she would ask important questions like, and how are you? You know,
Hmm.
she just knew. She
She
knew
she knew what questions to ask. She had all the right questions. You know what I'm saying?
to penetrate, to open that up.
Yup.
She knew. She knew.
Yeah. She knew what she was doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She was a psychologist.
Yep.
Add that one to the list, yo.
Yep.
Look, ¿qué no hacía esa mujer?
Yeah. Ella sabía, ella sabía. Una mujer
Hmm.
muy inteligente. Y yo me acuerdo that, like, she was the type of person that when you were talking, I don't know if you remember, but she had this thing where she would kind of look at you, but look down a little bit. And she would just look at you and listen. And then she would give her feedback.
Yeah, she would absorb everything that was being said, and she would like process it, right? Because again, like we said, she was a problem solver. So
Mm-hmm.
she was in her mind, you were telling her, but she was already like trying to come up with a plan, with a
Calculating.
solution. Yeah, she was always working. Like that's just who she was.
Yeah. What's one of your best memories with her? I mean, you have countless.
Yo, like,
It'd be impossible to choose one.
oh no, for
But
sure. 100%. Like, I feel for me, it just, well, if I'm being honest, like my best memory, I want to say, was my last moment with her. Like,
really?
yeah,
Oh
because
wow.
it just meant so much more,
Mm.
because I knew that was probably gonna be the last time I would see her. And so like it just made it more special.
Wow.
It made it more special, and just, man,
I
get
feel
choked.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get a little bit choked up, because like I just remember like what she was saying to me like while I was there, and she was like I was laying down with her in the bed, and she's like, I'm trying to remember exactly how she said it. Um, she said, "Esto vale más que cualquier otra cosa." Like it meant so much for her that I was able to be there with her in that moment. And for me, I think, looking back, at that moment that me and her spent, like she probably saw me like little again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because yo me recuerdo that she was just looking at me. She's like, "Ay, mijo, tú tienes la misma carita."
Oh,
Like you got the same face. Like, so I can only imagine, like in her mind, she probably saw me like a little kid.
yeah.
Like that's how she remembered me. So like, for me it was just being there with her. Like, not much was said, like we would talk, and stuff, but it was just more of being together in the moment, like with her.
Well, it's kind of like you went back to your roots because that's what y'all did.
Yeah.
You went to her for love and she nurtured you. That's what you guys did.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that was yeah, that was good.
Do you ever have dreams with her?
Never. Yo, I
Really? That's interesting.
yeah, like till this day I don't think I've ever had a dream with her.
That's crazy. When she died, like a month after, I had a dream that her and Tio Baltasar were sitting down eating. They were like sharing a meal, like they were eating. And she looked happy. And I think that that was her way of letting me know I'm good. Wherever I am, you don't have to worry about me. I'm good. And she was sitting down and moving around like before she got really sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how she was in the dream.
It's trippy that you saying that, because I remember one of the stories that she had shared with me, right? Like, was when my grandfather passed away, like she would still go and bring flowers to his grave or whatever.
Mhm.
And how she described it, right? She was like, she saw him in his uniform, like his work uniform,
Mhm.
and he basically was like I'm good, right? And stop bringing me flowers. That money that you're spending on those flowers, you can use it for my kids.
Which would have been typical of him to say.
I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, hey, yo.
Wow.
She was like, después de eso, yo jamás le llevé flores.
Oh wow.
Nah, but it made sense because, like, I can only imagine, like, how she used to tell me. She's like, ay, cuando yo trabajaba por una semana, te daban como diez centavos, algo así. Like, back then, the economy was a lot different, but, it was so much more labor, and you would get paid pennies. Like, it was
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
So, like, the amount of money that she was spending on flowers, she was like basically like, yo, you can use that to feed my kids.
Right.
And she was like, after that, I stopped bringing him flowers.
Yeah. It was probably a way of like him giving her permission, like, go do what you have to do.
Yeah, like that
Yeah.
reassurance, because I'm pretty sure she felt lost, and not to kind of like bring stuff up, but basically, like, when she broke it down, like, they exiled her, like, after my grandfather had passed away, which is why
Mhm.
she ended up like leaving
Mhm.
with the kids. Like, they didn't even think about, like, damn, like these are like my nephews and my nieces or whatever the case was, and like this is my brother's like wife, like she's gonna need our help. and they like basically casted her out, which is like
Yeah.
which is crazy to me. But
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, good thing that we come from such a loving family that we're so supportive. Because had they not been spread out amongst the family, she wouldn't have been able to come.
right,
You know,
she wouldn't be able to make the moves that she had to.
and if she hadn't, we don't know if you would exist.
This is
You know
true.
that? Have you ever thought about that? That's crazy to think about.
I mean, I probably would have existed through a different like a different like parallel, like like
Yeah.
some crazy shit like that. I it just
Yeah,
wouldn't
like
have.
Ricardo would have had you, just in a different,
Yeah,
but would it have been with Anna? Would you look the way you look? A
yeah, like
mix of both of them, like it's so much involved. How
yeah,
one person's decision shapes and shifts the reality that happens afterwards.
right.
It's
Like the
incredible.
like it's like the timelines, like it's like they branch off. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we get deep into it, like we would just be here all night.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But you think about that, and it's like it's kind of her creation, the
Hmm.
decisions that she made.
No, yeah, it's just the probabilities and the effects of like our choices in life. Like everything has a consequence, and is just the effects.
Yeah.
I think it's called, what is it, cause and effect, right? Like
Cause and effect. Yeah.
yeah, like so you know they coincide with one another.
Yeah. It's good to reminisce about her. It feels good. It
Yeah.
feels good because it brings back warm memories.
No, it's good, and what better person, to talk to about her than with you, because I feel like I really don't talk about her like that anymore. Like I don't. I mean, I'll sometimes bring her up in conversation, like if it's the right thing, but
Yeah.
de yo decidí que, oh, just bring her up like that, like it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think because we're closer in age,
right,
so we experienced her at the same time,
right,
so it makes a difference too.
yeah,
Where her children are older, it's different. But we definitely enjoyed her at the same time.
yeah, for sure.
And don't get me wrong, like I was dying to go over there to play with you, but it was about her. It was about her. And I loved to eat, and her food was always on point. She had all the good snacks, which thanks to you, because she kept you right with the snacks. So it was just lovely. Like, oh my God, yeah.
Yo, did you ever like have her Johnny Kekes?
Oh, she made them from scratch.
Bro, I
It
know she
was her
did.
recipe.
Listen,
Like, there's no other Johnny cake como lo de ella. Eso era receta de ella.
bro, she took that to the grave, yo. Nobody,
She
no,
did. I don't know how she made them.
yo, nobody can replicate those Johnny Kekes. It makes me sad because, like, when she would tell me, what? No, put it this way: when I would open the fridge and I would see the bowl with the cover, I'm like, oh, it's lit. She's making Johnny Kekes. She's making Johnny Kekes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, I would get super hype. I'm like, yeah, she's making Johnny Kekes.
Oh my God. She was
Yo,
so clean when she cooked. I would eat anything she made any day. I don't care how she was very like meticulous and detailed and took her time. Like she put love into her food.
listen, she would put love into whatever she did, And
Mm-hmm.
not so much that, but she would always try to master her craft in whatever she did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it just made her special because it was like, coño, ¿qué es lo que no hace la doña?
Yeah. She actually put my mother on because my mother was a seamstress in Dominican Republic, but she comes here. She also worked in the garment district when we first got here. But then we moved to Mass and she didn't know English. She didn't know the language. We were little, the whole thing. So Thea actually put her on, hey, why don't you start sewing from home? Build yourself a little clientele. Tía fue que le encaminó a mami a eso.
No, and it's crazy because I would remember like people would come to her to like hem the pants or like
Mm-hmm.
if like one of the her homegirls would like need a adjusting on the dress because it was might have been too loose or whatever, and like yo she would disassemble the dress and put it back to the fitting, like yo like her mind was just like it was like it's like that what's that movie with A Beautiful Mind or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
like her brain just like I don't know, it's crazy. Like the fact that she didn't have an education
Right.
and she was just so like articulate and so smart and just again she was a Jane of all trades and she mastered everything that she learned. Like she made it a point to learn everything.
Yes. Yes. Very true. And she made a lot of dresses. I remember she would make, like, people would come with the picture, I want this. And sometimes she would tell them what to get, or she'd take you on those runs to go buy the fabric and the stuff. Like if they didn't know what to get, they loved her. And then these clients became friends, and then some of them became family friends
Mm-hmm.
because she'd be like, "Oh, I'm having a dinner on Saturday, on Friday. Come by." They became her friends. She would, and that side of the family, I've always said it, like, they meet you, they're going to adopt you. You're going to be part of the family. That's how they are. That's how she was.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful thing because I feel like in this day and age, like it's what a lot of families lack because the upbringings are different. And if we really get down to it, it's like I was telling little Ricky the other day, like when he came on the episode, I was like, yeah, it was babies having babies.
Yeah.
So now it's different because you don't have the experience. So now you're growing up with your child.
Mm-hmm.
So that nurturing and all that the old school traditional families like ours growing up were accessible, it's no longer there.
Yeah.
Grandparents are even younger than before now.
Yeah. And they want to
Like,
turn up.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like so that I feel like they were like the last of a dying breed because it that you barely see that anymore.
Yeah. There were different values back then, too.
No, for sure. The and I feel like that's why I carry that with me because it's like a part of her legacy that I want to continue on and I feel like I want to pass that down to my kids so that way in turn they do that with their kids, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
and because it's just the times are so much different now. It's like nobody has those values anymore. I mean, they're still out there, but it's very scarce. Like it, you don't see it often.
No, no, we don't. Like, I don't see how we grew up.
No, for
Again,
sure.
like the house parties on the weekend, everybody coming through, everybody together. I don't really see that anymore. There's a lot of turning up, but you don't
No,
see like that family coming together unless
right,
it's like Thanksgiving, Christmas, a birthday. We did it almost every weekend for no reason other than to get together.
right, and that was I feel like that was the main point was oh let's all get together, but it became a turn up. But we were all
Oh, it was.
but
Yeah.
we were all together. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like now the turn ups now is just like yo, let's get lit and and it's not even your family. Like it's you know
Yeah.
I I don't know somewhere down the line like something got messed up.
And the conversations are different. The conversations are different. It's more about who has this, who did what. I feel like it's more about that. The environment that we come from, it was about, let me tell you what I've been through. And it was more about that and just learning from each other and getting to know each other. Because even though you're family, people go through changes, they go through things, or even reminiscing on things that happened and getting each other's point of view on it from that place. Just beautiful communication.
Yeah, I think that there's no more uplifting. And if there is, it's very seldom.
Mm.
It's not something that's consistent and I think that social media kind of played a huge part in that because now it's all about like, oh, this is an image that I have to uphold, and it's all a facade. And so it becomes a competition because now people are seeing this on social media and be like, "Oh, look at this one," and
Mhm.
it becomes a competition, like, and it's very distasteful, you know,
Yeah.
and it's very unfortunate because people's train of thought is just like is lost.
Yeah. And you see it too you have a lot of content on social media of like parents raising kids. And like once in a while, you'll see grandma. Most of the time they live, far from each other. That's another thing. We all lived close to each other. That made a big difference too. They made it a point. They wanted to live close to each other. I remember when Tia Yolanda and Theo Frank, they moved to the Bronx in 76, same apartment. But before that, Tia Yolanda was living on the other side with, I think, Tio Baltasar. She was living with her siblings. And my dad had just come to the US during that time and moved in with his siblings with her. It was her apartment. And she housed all her siblings as they came from Dominican Republic.
Andrew's Ave.
Andrew's Ave.
That's right, baby.
That's right. History. So much history here. So much history.
For real.
It's amazing. But they were always like that, and I feel that, I don't know, I think you lose culture when you move to another country too. And I think that's part of it. As they started getting older, and not being able to turn up as much and people moving, we kind of lost that a little bit.
Yeah.
It happens.
No, yeah, I mean, times change, people change, people grow up, people go their separate ways, and I feel like it's not intentional. It's just, everybody goes through their different seasons in life,
Right.
right? So I don't think the division comes intentional. It's just that, we all walk our different paths, but it's just unfortunate because I feel like when you grow up with that type of unity that we grew up on, we should make it a point to preserve that because now, guess what? Now our kids, they have all these cousins and they don't even know each other, and it's like it's sad, bro. Like,
Yeah,
you
it
know what I'm
is.
saying? It's super sad. Like, oh, so like every once in a while, like if we take a trip, then that's how you're gonna see your family. But you know, I don't know. It's just super crazy. Like nobody has that bond, or no, I want to say
Mhm.
bond. I want to say that unification. Like there, nobody's
Yeah.
unified like how they used to be. So
Yeah, that is so true. And my mother and I have jewelry of hers that
really,
she used to wear. Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
we have jewelry because that's another thing we're not mentioning. She was stunning. She was beautiful.
Yo, that lady has swag. Like it's so crazy. Yeah, she was. Yo, she. It's so funny because obviously when when I was born, she was getting like middle age and stuff, right?
Still
But
had it. Still
right,
had it.
but like when I would talk to her, like she'd be like, no, cause yo me pa mi cumpleaños yo me puse mi peluca, like I was like, Ma, you was wearing a wig, bro. Like, what's going on?
She was doing her thing. She was beautiful. She was well put together from her accessories to her clothes, her makeup. She used to love blue eyeshadow. Remember the blue eyeshadow?
Yep. No, and she was very thing about her perfume. Like
Yeah.
she had to smell nice.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And what color were her eyes? Were they blue or green?
Yo, they it's crazy because it's hard to tell, but I feel like
Hmm.
they were kind of like a grayish color, but they had like a hint of
Yeah.
blue. Like I mean, I have pictures of me and her together. You wouldn't even think that she was my grandmother, but
Yeah, they were like a grayish blue.
yeah, grayish blue. She had beautiful eyes and
Yeah.
bien blanquita. Like is crazy.
Yeah. I remember that. She had the most beautiful eyes,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful smile. She was very beautiful. Very
Yeah,
even when she got older, she was still very beautiful. It's been good to reminisce about Thea. It's a good feeling.
yeah. Low key. This episode became about her in a way, but I guess it was meant to play out that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been good. I mean, and to be able to speak about her for such a long time, it's a testament to what a rich life she left behind, how she lived.
No, for sure, 100%. And when she passed away, like I said, like a part of me left with her, but that was because that was my mother, right? She raised me, but it was a lot easier for me to accept it because she lived a long life, and to 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 want her to still be around
Yeah.
after seeing her, like not wanting to speak because she was always tired, and what I'm saying, like who wants to do that? Like that's mad selfish. Like,
Yeah. And it takes a lot of love to let go like that. Because
mhm.
it's hard. It's hard. You want them to live forever. Why
Right,
not?
right.
You
And
know?
I felt like for me, like when I was a little, like because she was already just like viejita, like I was like, damn, she's gonna live forever.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I never thought of I it was never a thought in my mind that she wouldn't be here because she was always there.
Right.
So that wasn't a thought in my mind. And everybody has stories. Everybody has stories about her. And she was funny too. She had a sense of humor.
Yeah. She definitely was. Like she knew how to make people smile. She would always make the best out of rough situations. Like she always found light in everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So interesting. I
Hmm.
wonder what she's thinking. What is one thing that you wish she would have been able to experience with you?
Honestly, I wish that she could have met Harlem.
Oh, she would have loved him. Oh my
Yo,
God.
like I honestly like, and it's so crazy, because um after my mom passed away, right? Because I lost both of them a year apart.
I
So
know. I know. So
so so mommy passed away during the pandemic, right? In 2020. And then my mother passed away September of 2021,
hmm
right? So my wife and the kids, they sent a portrait to get made. Um, so it's me as an adult, right? But it was sketched like in pencil.
wow.
I'm gonna have to send you a picture of it so you can see it. But so it's me in the middle, and then it's my mom to on the right side of the portrait, and then mommy, my grandmother, on the left side.
Wow.
And so I had that portrait. We had the portrait in the hallway, and it's so crazy because obviously you remember how my mom used to talk, right? Like
Yeah.
her Honduran accent.
Yeah.
So like she would always be like, I know. And Harlem, I don't know how he like learned that, but he started saying,
Really?
I know.
Oh wow. Oh
And I
wow.
and when the since he was little, like I would always be like, Papi, look, that's grandma and that's mama. And like I feel like they had a part in Harlem being here. Like
Oh
so
yeah.
like I feel like spiritually, like he already knows them.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, we didn't think that Julie was gonna get pregnant ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had kind of gave up, and then she ended up getting pregnant. So like, between God and his grandmother and his great grandmother, I feel like they all had a part in that.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah,
And he looks like Anna.
you think so?
Yeah, he has a little resemblance, but you do as well.
Yeah, you
And
know,
he looks so much like you.
what's crazy? Kiana has her moments where like she looks like my mom, and I'm like, it's kind of freaky. Like I'm like, yo, you look like your grandmother.
Yeah. Yeah. And she looks Hondureña a bit.
Well,
Like
yeah, no,
before
yeah,
Dominican even.
but I feel like that's because she looks a lot like me, and because
Right.
I have a lot of resemblance of my mom,
Right.
like so that she gets that from me.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. But I remember even Anna was a absolute sweetheart. Just sweetheart. Papi was crazy about her. Loved her. Loved her so much. Till today mentions her with nothing but love. She was
Yeah.
sweet. She was so sweet. And I think it was so healthy for you too to see what an amazing relationship her and Thea had. They had an amazing. Thea loved her like a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Treated her like a daughter. Just loved her.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
No, for sure.
But yeah, wherever she is, I'm sure she's cooking, singing, making a dress for somebody, telling people how to get their life right. She's doing her.
She got stories. She has stories for days, yo.
So you haven't had any dreams with her. Do you have you ever had like any signs? You know how people talk about, oh, I think she's communicated with me, or I felt her present, or anything like that.
I mean, if there is, I probably haven't like paid attention. Well, I know that what are those little, you know, those little flowers that you like blow on and the little, you know, they like fly
Oh
away.
yeah.
I don't even know
Hmm.
how to what they're called, but
I don't know what they're called either.
I know that one time I was in the car with my wife and one of those things like flew and it like fell on top of me and my wife was like, "Yeah, that's like a I forget how she put it, but basically like como quien dice, that's like a sign or something."
Wow. Yeah.
And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "I've never heard that before," but I was like, "Who knows?" I mean, like I've always felt like like she's well, they're both watching on me,
Yeah,
like
they have their ways to me with Tia Yolanda, it's cats. I know for Nelly, it's sunflowers. Cause her mom, Tia, used to grow just the biggest sunflowers I've ever seen. And she
yo.
used to have them. I don't know, they were taller than you at that time. Sometimes even twice your size. I don't know how she did it. But they were like huge. And she was so proud. She had a green thumb, obviously, but she was
Mm-hmm.
so proud of this. So that's like I've talked to Nelly, and she's had her experiences. Like random people that don't know her, like they'll gift her something, and it like somehow there's a sunflower incorporated, and they don't know anything behind the sunflower
That's
thing with her
crazy.
mom. Yeah, yeah, it's
Wow.
amazing.
Wow, cuz this has been amazing.
I know. This is good. This made me feel cozy. It brought me back because those were good times, cuz good times, safe times, drama free times, just good times.
No, of course, 100%. Yeah, and I mean, we I feel like we talked about everything even though it kind of centered around mommy like
Right.
unintentionally, but I feel like that's how it was supposed to play out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we didn't intend on
Right.
speaking about her. It just
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it kind of happened.
Right.
That's how big she was though, you know? You can't talk hasta en eso ella así. You ain't gonna talk about me for 5 minutes. I don't even excuse me, you know? I'm bigger than that. La Marquesa.
La Marquesa, no, 100%. Yo, that name stuck with her, like, and people knew her by La Marquesa. Like, it's just crazy. Like,
Hmm.
she was the Dawn. Like,
Yep.
You would have thought she was like Queen of the South or something like that.
She practically was.
Mm-hmm. That's
Rest
crazy.
in, rest in peace, Thea.
Yeah, man. I miss my old girl, man. I definitely do have like my moments where like como que de repente me da así like I just miss her like and I wish I could just like talk to her and
Wow.
like I miss not having her accessible like like she was always there and I could just pick up my phone and call her and even like when I got older like I would just call to check on her and what would intentionally be like a quick conversation will become like a long conversation. It was just us just talking. Like
Wow.
we would just, just talk and siempre me aconsejaba like, we would just talk about whatever like and I love that. I miss that, that I would be able to talk to her about anything.
Wow. Yeah, she was good like that.
Mhm.
She was good. I know that my mom used to talk to her about everything. And then I became independent and I did the same thing. She was just dope.
Yeah, she was.
She was just dope. You must miss her so bad. I know you just said it, but it just
Yeah,
hit me. It just hit me. You must miss her so bad.
I do. And I feel like because it's been 6 years now. It's a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't take away from the fact that every now and then, like I think about her. So I certainly do have moments where I'm like, damn, like I miss my mom, bro.
Yeah. It's interesting because Papi's the youngest. And in a weird way, every time a sibling of his has passed, I see him kind of depleting a little bit. I can feel his spirit just kind of shrink a little bit. And I think it's, I don't know, watching all of them just pass, and I don't know if he knows what to do with that yet. And that's all I can say. I know Tia Francia he loved all his siblings the same, but I know Tia Francia dying, that one, it hit home. Because that was one of the siblings he got along with the most. And he was very close with Tio Cesar um, when he was a teenager, being Tia's, I don't know what order he came in, but he was one of the oldest too.
No, he was the oldest. So
Yeah,
it was Tio Cesar, then Tio Cuchito, and then my dad.
yeah,
And then I think came Titi Malta, Tio Tico, and then Francina. And then
yeah,
and then later on Tio Stevie.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just interesting to see it a little bit from my dad's side.
No,
Obviously, he mourns and things like that, but
it's definitely hard for him because you kind of reach that peak, like, this is kind of like the end, right? And,
oh yeah,
everybody around you starts to go and you're kind of the last one standing, como quien dice. And, you
right,
know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like when you kind of reach that point, there's a lot of reflection going on And
Yeah.
it's like, damn, like my siblings are no longer here. And
Yeah.
especially like how united they all were. And you can't don't have that anymore. It gets taken away. Um and I don't want to say taken away, but yeah, it gets taken away by time because we naturally reach that point where we all go. Um,
Yeah.
so I can definitely see how that's definitely affected him. And I've talked to him and I can hear it in his voice, and it's kind of like damn, like what else?
Yeah. I see it too. I see the same thing. And it's tough, but he he's also he's very smart, resilient as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that, everything that is born must die.
Right.
That's kind of like his take on things.
Right. No, but I can definitely tell like his spirit is because your dad's always been very upbeat and very,
Mm-hmm.
very happy and, always joking um, and I know when I call him and I talk to him, like I kind of bring that little bit of joy, back into him.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but it's just one of those things that, it's, it's a part of life and it sucks. Unfortunately, we hate to see our loved ones go, but it's just a part of life.
Yeah. It is. It's tough. And like the realization hits you like they're not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
This was it.
Right.
That's it. It's hard. One thing that has helped me with losing Tia Yolanda is I still have her voicemails
Wow.
and I hear them, so I can hear her voice. Before she got really sick and all that.
Mm.
So that helps.
Wow.
Every little bit helps. Yeah.
I know you kind of it's crazy because I've seen um like videos on Facebook, like it pops up on the memories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's a couple videos that have popped up of mommy, and it's just so surreal.
Wow.
But it's like comforting because you're like, damn, I like just for that instant you kind of hear them, and it kind of takes you back to that moment, like
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. It's it's sad, but it's taught me what to leave behind for my kids. It's taught me to be graceful with myself for any mistakes that I've made.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's taught me a lot
No.
in talking with all of them, mostly Tia Francia, but you learn to just be more easy about things, not be so hard and judging, and understanding that, life is just going to be what it is. Sometimes you have control, sometimes you don't. And it's a matter of accepting what is and what's happened. That's all we can do.
Right.
That's all we can do.
Yeah. But cuz it's been amazing talking with you and kind of going down memory lane.
Yeah.
um our conversations are always good like that, I guess.
Yep.
Listen, we can talk for hours, man.
Yep. Y esto es sin alcohol, imagínate.
Yeah, we in the right state of mind, but
Yeah,
I mean, I guess in any state of mind, our
yeah.
conversations are always good, So it's super dope, and I appreciate you coming on to the podcast and kind of sharing those stories and stuff like that. But
Thank you, cuz. Thank you for having me. Um, this has been nice again. Ooh, like we said, we didn't even plan on, going down that route and kind of paying a little homage to Tia, but it's been nice. It gave me a warm feeling, brought me back, those memories of how it felt being with her and spending time with her.
yeah, so
So
yeah,
this has been lovely.
in a sense, it's been kind of like therapeutic in a way.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
And it's a good way it's for me, like just the past couple hours talking about her, um, recognizing the impact that she had in my life. I never really sat down and looked at that.
Right.
So being on here today and talking to you definitely gave me that.
No, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for coming on, and to all our listeners out there, I hope that you guys enjoy this episode. Kind of get a little insight of my family background and kind of paying homage to La Marquesa, my grandmother.
La Marquesa.
La Marquesa.
Love her.
Yeah. All right, cuz I love you and I appreciate you coming on to the show. And everybody, I will catch you guys next week. Take care.